A Queenslander has never won the world's richest classic for 2-year-olds. Today on Wide World of Sports, it's North versus South as the General takes on the might of Sydney and Melbourne in the $2 million Golden Slipper at Rosehill Gardens. Queensland confidence is sky high that the unbeaten General Nadim, trained by Bill Mitchell and ridden by Mick Dittman, will break the drought.
Well, if he's in front of the film, you can go and collect. It's all over.
But the Southern experts disagree.
Yeah, that's Meg. He's getting a bit old. He hasn't won a Group 1 for a couple of years. So, and General Nadim, well, he hasn't seen any pressures yet. But come to the slipper, I think he'll be back to Queensland very quick.
The 4-horse challenge from the John Hawke stable is headed up by Guineas, with Darren Beedman in the saddle. Gunning for their 5th consecutive slipper victory is the Freedman Brothers Incorporated. Last year they collected a lifetime supply of beer. This year they raised their glasses to a pair of smart youngsters in Rose of Danehill and Knowledge. But the partnership that could eclipse them all has Clary Connors and Shane Dye set to relive slipper glories. They team up once again with last start winner Encounter, ready to do battle with the General. As well as the Golden Slipper, we'll have live action from the Group 1 Ansett Australia Stakes, the Tulloch Wine Stakes, and the Conacher Stakes. Plus, you could witness turf history in the $1 million Mercedes Classic. Sentimental favourite is the Big O, the mighty Octagonal, needing victory in the Classic to ease past Superimpose as the highest stakes winner in Australasian turf history. When the whips aren't cracking, we'll bring you the on-course colour and talk to Gay Waterhouse, Lee Freedman and swim champ Scott Miller. Away from the track, there's a full review of Australia's tension-packed test win against South Africa. We tackle all those highlights from last night's derby game between the Seagulls and the Bears. Catch up with our world-beating hockey stars as they count down to next year's Commonwealth Games and flag down the latest from right around the planet. So get set in the saddle for another classic ride as we hit the ground running right here on the one and only Wide World of Sports.
And welcome to Wide World of Sports, coming to you from Rosehill Gardens on Golden Slipper Day. We are getting ready for the $2 million slipper, the world's richest race for youngsters of the equine breed. And you can see a good crowd pouring in for the race this afternoon. It's a little bit overcast, but nevertheless very, very pleasant conditions, around about 24, 25 degrees. And we're expecting a terrific crowd here. And boy, oh boy, are there stories to be told at Rosehill today. Octagonal, we'll be taking a look at the slipper. There's just a lot of things to happen here on Wide World of Sports on the biggest day as far as Rosehill is concerned, the Golden Slipper. Now, just a little bit of bad news. You may be wondering where my sidekick is, Maxie Walker. First of all, his plane was late, and then he got caught in a traffic jam. There's been a semi-trailer crash on the M4 heading westbound. Now, that trailer is on fire. It's blocking a lot of traffic, a lot of people, in fact, coming here to the races. And good old Maxie Walker, he's caught up in the middle of it. But never mind, he's on his way, and it won't be too far away before I'm joined by the big fella. In the meantime, plenty of experts on the payroll here this afternoon, and two of them on the biggest payroll of all is Kenny Callender and Simon O'Donnell.
Thanks a lot, Ken. Well, if this fellow behind me was running in the Golden Slipper this afternoon, I'd be backing him. He's Todman, and he was something special. He started the Golden Slipper tradition 40 years ago when he won the first running in 1957. And Simon O'Donnell and I are standing at the Golden Slipper Hall of Fame, where the 40 winners of the Golden Slipper have been honoured. Who's going to take their place as number 41? Well, who say you, Simon?
Well, out of the Colts, General Nadim, out of the Fillies, Rose of Danehill. I still haven't come to a final opinion on the two. I'll have a look in the mounting yard and come up with a final one. But they're my top two to win the race.
I like Encounter. He's trained by Clary Connors, who's won the Golden Slipper twice. He's ridden by Shane Dye, who's won the Golden Slipper 4 times. And even his dad, Terse, he won a Golden Slipper. But it's a hard race, but Encounter has come good at the right time. I've got him on top of General Nadim, and the best of the fillies, I think, is Rose of Danehill. I've got her in for 3rd. Of course, the other big attraction today is the Mercedes Classic. Occy O'Donnell, do you like him today?
Need you ask? Of course I do. His record here at Rosehill is simply sensational. 5 out of 6 he's had. He's won 5 out of 6. I just think he's going to win today. He's an absolute moral, and he'll go out on a real high here at Rosehill.
I think you'll win. If he's too short for you, don't bet against him. Have the thrill of cheering home a champ, because I think Octagonal will win the 1997 Mercedes Classic. We've got a cast of thousands to help us with today's telecast from Rosehill Gardens, and of course we've got the best caller in the business, John Tapp. Here he is with a special guest.
Thank you, fellas, and good afternoon, everyone. Those stern-faced little fellows you can see on either side of the winning post are entitled to look a little pensive, because after the running of the Mercedes Classic and the Golden Slipper Stakes today, they're going to be splashed with paint. There'll be an official ceremony after both big races, and the colours of the winners will be painted thereon. Talking about jockeys, it's my great pleasure to introduce one of Australia's greatest, Wayne Harris, who's recuperating from illness. He won't be riding today, but in 1979 he was riding on Slipper Day as an 18-year-old apprentice, and you won the Golden Slipper. What a day.
Yeah, it was a great day, and you know, there's probably top 2 or 3 races in Australia to win, and I did it as an apprentice, so it's a great thrill.
You've been placed several other times too.
5 or 6 times. The Slipper's been a very good race to me, so you know, it's disappointing I'm not here today, but I'm here to talk about it. That's the main thing.
It's not a place for the faint-hearted riding in Golden Slippers. It's a wing and a prayer, and you've got 15 or 16 inexperienced babies that are likely to jump left or jump right or go anywhere.
Yes, it's, you know, it's a mad scamper really for 1,200 metres, and you've got to be in a good spot. And you know, we've got a lot of experienced jockeys, good jockeys, big race jockeys out there today. There's no apprentices, so it makes for a good race. Good horses, good jockeys, good trainers.
If you had the pick of rides in this year's Slipper, which would it be?
I think I'd plump for Encounter. I think he's coming right at the right time. Clary Connors has got a happy knacker of having them ready on the right day, and I think he's done everything right. He'll be in a good position, and I believe in any big race you've got to be in travel as easy as you can for as long as you can, and I think he's going to be travelling behind General Nadeem and have the last shot at him.
What about a Wayne Harris trifecta?
Well, I'm steering away from, you know, we've got 2 unbeaten horses there, in Guineas and General Nadeem, but Guineas is drawn badly, but he's got enough speed to get into a good spot. But I'm sort of going for General Nadeem and Rose of Danehill. They're my 2 for the trifecta.
I like Knowledge, Wayne. I know he's badly drawn. He'll be a mile back. They're going to walk out of the gate, get straight to the fence, and then hope for a couple of miracles. If those miracles happen, I think Knowledge could blow them away, because he's got enough class. Rose of Danehill second and Encounter third. Wayne, on behalf of your legion of fans, we hope to see you back in silk very, very shortly. But in the meantime, it's a delight for all of us to have you on the show today.
Thanks, John. It's hard to keep a good man down. I'll be back.
Good boy. Well, here's another one of your colleagues, Shane Dye. If he wins on Encounter, he will set new figures. No jockey has yet ridden 5 winners of the Slipper, and he's in with a great chance. Let's hear from Shane now as he gives an assessment of the Rosehill Gardens track.
Thanks, John. Well, the penetrometer reading here at Rosehill today is 4.15, so that means the track is very good, as you can tell. If we have a look here, the surface is absolutely perfect. It hasn't been cut up through racing or anything. Horses today should be able to lead. They should be able to come from back last. It will not make any difference. Now, the rail has been moved out 3 metres, and that's because we've had 3 race meetings here the last 3 weeks, and they didn't want to go back into the old surface, which has already been cut up. We're in for a fantastic day's racing, so let's all stay tuned.
Good on you. Thank you very much, fellows. And Shane, I tell you what, if Confidence wins the Golden Slipper, he's got it shot to pieces right now. In the meantime, plenty of sport other than racing here at Rosehill Gardens right around the world. In fact, the Aussies are playing in South Africa. There's been all sorts of rugby league, AFL and other sports. And to call all the action and give us all the results, of course. Welcome back to Rosehill Gardens. Fillies and Mares have the honour of opening the action here at the Gardens today. And with the latest on the Queen of the Turf Stakes, Simon O'Donnell and Ken Callender.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kenny. It's a Group 2 race for fillies and mares, and Simon O'Donnell, have you a selection?
Yes, I certainly do. The one that caught my eye in the mounting yard is out of the Ron Quinton stable. Timeless Wins, number 4, Ken.
Well, I've got a couple of dollars on Ken Bell. Let's have a look at the tote prices. Number 1, Hello Dale, is showing at $6.50, which is your return for $1. So that's odds of about 5.5 to 1 or 11 to 2. Misty Dawn at $16. Remember, these are New South Wales TAB prices, out now to $17. Flight to Fantasy is a scratching, $5.50 for Simon's selection, Timeless Wins. Ken Bell, the horse I liked last year's Oaks winner, is at $4, odds of 3 to 1. Shindig, TAB number 6, is getting out now to $9. Darren Beedman has them out on her. $21 for Vigil, $31 now in from 34 for Admiring Glances. Al Mazoon is keeping her place in the market, but just getting out a touch to $6.50. $41 Nana Moo, $31 Bold Amy. Number 12 Via Mare from Queensland is in from $9.50 to $9, and Bravo Zulu at $31. Pine Puppet was a late scratching. Okay, there's only about 90 seconds to post time. The horses are behind the barrier. That's Ken Bell taking her place in the pink hoops there. She's gone into line, and on the inside there in the grey colours is Simon's selection, Timeless Winds, and Timeless Winds is ridden by Glenn Boss. Okie dokie, there are a few more to go in yet, and then they'll be ready for the running of the initial race on the 1997 Golden Slipper card, and that's the Queen of the Turf Stakes. Okay, are they all in? Simon, I think we've just about got them there. We better swing over to John Tapp for the call of race 1. Here he is.
Okay, all set for the first under starters orders. Starters onto his stand. Dale Jeff's doing the honours for the Queen of the Turf Stakes, and they're ready to run in the opening event on Slipper Day. Bold Amy, the inside runner, they're off, and Vigil has jumped a little awkwardly, and so did Shindig, who went straight back to the tail of the field. Misty Dawn is first out. Bold Amy began well, and so did Timeless Winds and Alma Zayun, followed by Admiring Glances, Hello Dal. Ken Bell settles down just off the pace, a gap then to Vigil making ground, followed by Nanaimo, Bravo Zulu. The Queenslander Via Mare is back second last, and Shindig is last, about 12 lengths off the lead. In the run to the first turn at the 1,000 mark, Alma Zayun got to the front and won't settle. She wants to over race, led by 3/4 to Misty Dawn. So you're over racing if you can lead Misty Dawn. 2.5 away Bold Amy on the inside of Timeless Winds, followed by Admiring Glances. Then Ken Bell and Hello Dale together. A gap to Nanaimo on the outside of Vigil, and well back Via Mare, followed by Bravo Zulu, and Shindig is last in a well strung out field. 600 out, Alma Zayun led, Misty Dawn second, Bold Amy third, Timeless Winds fourth, and getting a perfect run, followed by Ken Bell, who's tracking up behind those leaders. Then Admiring Glances, Hello Dale. Vigil is flat to the boards as they turn for home, and Nanaimo heads the others. In the straight, Alma Zayun and Misty Dawn. Timeless Winds putting in a dash. Ken Bell in the bright pink is winding up, and look at her sprint, Ken Bell. Ken Bell on the extreme outsiders, race to the lead from Timeless Winds and Alma Zayun. Bold Amy getting home well, but Ken Bell from the Kevin Robinson stable forges to the lead near home, and it's a big win to Ken Bell. Admiring Glances, I think, will get second, a breath in front of Timeless Winds, followed by Bold Amy, Vigil, Hello Dale. Alma Zayun weakened after pulling hard, then Misty Dawn, followed by Via Mare, Nanaimo well back, and then Shindig, and last is Bravo Zulu.
If you back the winner, it's 380 and 180 on the New South Wales TAB, and perfectly ridden by Brian York. Last year's Oaks winner, Ken Bell, in the bright pink colours, about 6th on the inside in the run, pushed Admiring Glances out of the way on the home turn, and she won most convincingly. Repeating that dividend, number 5, Ken Bell, 380 the win, 180 the place. A photo for second and third between number 8, Admiring Glances, and number 4, Timeless Winds. Okay, out in the centre in the pink colours, that's the winner, Ken Bell. She's just gone past Timeless Winds in the grey. Now down the outside in the blinkers in the yellow and blue colours, that is Admiring Glances, very close for second, but as John Tapp called them, I think you'll find that Admiring Glances has just got there in time to snare second spot. This is from another angle. York using the whip in his left hand, leaning forward there, great pose as Ken Bell, a classic performer. A little bit of a surprise when she won the Oaks at 14 to 1 last year, but no surprise, Simon, with her success this afternoon.
No, certainly not. There was quite a whisper around track that she was going to run a big race, as she did. She's a class filly, and probably when you look at it, should have outclassed these. Timeless Winds, a good run, I thought, had the run of the race, had every opportunity, and a good ride also from Bretty Thompson on Admiring Glances, giving it a good chance to win. But there's the action shot, Brian York, the whip in the left hand, and Ken Bell in the end proved far too good.
Those placings are now official of 5, 8 and 4. Number 8, Admiring Glances, is second, and if you've backed her on the place tote, she's going to pay $8.30. And number 4, Timeless Winds, where you didn't quite get your money back, $1.90 for the place dividend. That was the story of the Queen of the Turf Stakes, and the winning jockey, Brian York, is coming back there with the clerk of the course aboard Ken Bell. On that note, we'll take our first break today on the special Golden Slipper edition of the Wide World of Sports.
Rosehill Racecourse, it's Golden Slipper Day, and the highlight is the judging of the Golden Slipper Princess. 10 pretty girls, each from a different racing district of New South Wales, have been chosen as finalists. And the form's so good that the judges might have to use the photo finish camera to pick the winner. But here she is, a lovely young lady from Orange, Mary Aveyard. With attractions like her at the races, the punters don't care if they don't back a winner.
Oh, only you could get away with that in the 1960s. That was race 1, the Novotel Queen of the Turf Stakes. Race 1 here, obviously, at the Rosehill Gardens today. Canbell, $3.80 and $1.80. Admiring Glances paid $8.30. And Timeless Wins, $1.90. And joining me right now, Kim Watkins from the Money Program, and also, of late, celebrity driver at the Grand Prix, coming in second, aggression and just ambition. I mean, can you ride a horse as well as you can drive a car?
Well, I can ride fast, a bit the way I drive cars, unfortunately. Not very smoothly through the corners, but at least I can hang on.
Everybody who goes in the celebrity car race always comes away with a huge buzz, and they said everyone should do it. It's all the things you always wanted to do, but are completely illegal to do on the open road.
Exactly. I mean, I'm one of these drivers who drives far too fast at the best of times. I love the concentration here. I'm pretty rapt about that stuff.
You can talk and drive and all these things at the one time.
Well, you know, it's really funny. Someone said that to me. How did you manage to concentrate on... Oh, this is where I took her over. Look at that. I was rapt about that. She did a big spin in front of me. I couldn't believe my luck. Yeah, people were saying that it was interesting that I could talk and drive at the same time, but I was so nervous before the start of the race that I thought I was going to throw up. And I thought, wouldn't that be embarrassing if I threw up on my lap and then had to get out of the car at the end?
The amazing thing is you see the other side of people's personalities, things that probably other people aren't aware of until you get in a car.
This poor man, who was the first person I saw to hug, so he copped it.
Yeah. But did you see your personality change once you closed the door and put the helmet on?
Oh, just terribly so. I thought I'd be really sane and drive really carefully and not injure people, but I got out there and ran into as many people as I could in training.
So what's
a shocker of a time,
So
actually.
What's the boss, Paul Clitheroe of Money, had to say about your driving exploits? You're saying stay at home, do the program, or don't you doing dangerous things like that anymore?
Oh, look, Paul was so rapt he was jealous. He said, next time I want to be in the back seat watching.
Well, he'll have to be, because with these long legs, he'll never get into the front seat of one of those small ones, will he?
He's the world's tallest man. Honestly, he's got the most incredibly long legs you've ever seen. And he's got these sort of long arms and legs. We've nicknamed him Edward Flipperhands.
Yeah, well, yeah, something like that. Or the Praying Mantis. But you're here today, Rosehill Gardens. You've been to the Slipper before?
No, I haven't, so this is a first for me.
Well, it's very, very special. Octagonal, I suppose everybody knows about Octagonal. You can't wait to see him.
Looking forward to that one. Octagonal's my tip.
And anything for the Slipper? I mean, even though you're a novice at this, novices seem to have first time good luck.
Well, for some reason, I keep getting Rose of Danehill.
Is it what, flows past or in your dreams or just walk?
Well, a bit like the dream I had.
Or was it the cabbie when you came out here today?
No, it wasn't the cabbie, actually. No, well, I had a dream in the Grand Prix race that I came second, and last night I was dreaming about roses, and I've seen Danehill once, so that's it. That's the winner. Absolutely no idea, really.
You're going to get up there, let me tell you. It always happens. First time luck. Tell me, Money back on the air very, very soon. You've had quite a laid-back period, haven't it?
We have. It's been very nice, to be quite honest, yes. And there've been so many changes on the money scene over the last couple of months that we've really got our work cut out for us at the moment too.
Well, thanks for joining us, and thanks for giving us so much fun at the Grand Prix this year. It was terrific. It was one of the best races we've seen. And get down there and get a good price, and I'll give you a few bucks myself.
All right, I'll keep a lookout for some of the shockers too. There's a fellow down there with red hair for some strange reason. I've got no idea why.
OK, Kim Watkins from the Money Program, joining us on Wide World of Sports this afternoon. OK, in the meantime...
Moss Rocket is in front of the 300. Bint Masquet the first to go after him. They're a mile in front of Keltrice and Rose's Image, followed by Jet Ball. But it's Bint Masquet. Mighty Mick drives the filly to the lead. Bint Masquet, and she is streeting them. Look at her go. Bint Masquet coming away to record a brilliant Slipper win.
You must be a very excited man, Anthony.
Yeah, it's right up there, Ken, with all the big ones, and certainly as good as a Melbourne Cup.
At the 200, Lord Jim headed by St Covered, but here comes Dan Zero. Dan Zero down the outside is about to swamp these leaders. Dan Zero coming at St Covered. St Covered is kicking again. It's St Covered and Dan Zero. They hit the line, heads up, heads down. I reckon Dan Zero a breath to St Covered in a head bobber.
Well, you're a big-time combination, you and Greg Hall.
We're invincible. When we're right, we're invincible.
Our Maskey clear with 100 to go. Millrich, the filly, is coming after him quickly and getting between them. Flying Spur, and look at Octagonal jumping out of the ground. Flying Spur hit the front. Flying Spur wins the slipper. Flying Spur for Glenn Boss over Octagonal, which jumped out of the ground.
One of the most exciting days I've ever had at the races.
Coming to the 200 mark, Paint is the leader, but here comes Merlene. Merlene on the outside is coming at Paint with Flavour between them. Merlene shot to the front 100 metres out. She's racing away the little Danehill filly, and Merlene is going to score a magnificent win in the slipper. 4 for the Freedmans.
What's going to happen with the lifetime of beer?
Well, I've got a lot of new friends. I'll have to put a new room on the house, actually.
I reckon you can afford it. Congratulations. Is the 5th coming?
The 5th's coming, and I'm sure we're going to have a beer fairly soon.
4 fabulous years for Lee Freedman. No wonder you're back here again this year.
Well, it's great to be back here, Ken. You know, it's great to have 2 good chances in the race.
Which was the special slipper of those 4?
A lot of people ask me that. I think it's very hard to sort of single one out, but I'd say, like a lot of things in life, the first slipper was the best because, you know, it had been a race that I'd always wanted to win, and to have a filly that won it so brilliantly like Ben Maskey was a big thrill.
When you get a class youngster come into your stable, how long before you know they're pretty good?
Well, I think, you know, sort of you get a feeling about them straight away, but I think it's not until you actually put them down for the first really solid gallop that you do know, and when you get that vibe, it's pretty good.
Simon's been tipping me Rose of Danehill for a while about this year's event. She cost $400,000. Does that put added pressure on you when she comes into the stable?
It did a bit. I think it put a bit more pressure on the guys that own her, $400,000 worth, but no, it's been a dream come true. I mean, we need to see some of these highly priced horses come to the fore to keep, you know, to keep the price of the horses up. She's done a great job. She's repaid him nearly the 400 already.
Lee, there she is on screen in the rising slipper. You were happy with this run?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good run. It was the first run around this way. She struck some buffeting in the straight, and she showed a lot of character to get out and go on and win. And I think the important thing to remember is that Stephen King said that even in winning, she was never at a top after that because she was unbalanced.
But in between the rising slipper and today, the golden slipper day, what do you look for your 2-year-olds to do? Do you like them still to train on more?
You can't win this race unless the horse is peaking that week. They've got to give you that. They've got to give you that inkling on the track and in the feed bin and everything they do. And if they're going backwards this week, it's like going backwards Melbourne Cup week. You can't win.
Are you pleased with how she's gone this week then?
I'm really pleased. You know, after she won 2 weeks ago, I was pretty confident. But the way she's gone this week, her work's been first class. She's probably eaten better than she ever has. She's in a really aggressive sort of mood, which I like my fillies to be in, and I think she's got a second to none chance, really.
Can you compare her with Merlene?
Yeah, there are some comparisons. I mean, obviously being by Danehill and not being all that big, there is that comparison. But Merlene very much peaked almost 3-4 days before the slipper last year. She was right on song, and this filly's done something very similar this week.
Having a look at Knowledge, winner of the Blue Diamond Stakes, hasn't had a run since then. Now, you did that with Merlene last year. You've trialled him at Warwick Farm. You've been happy with his progress since the Blue Diamond?
Yeah, I'm very happy with him, Simon. I mean, he's a big colt who's probably going to train on and be better as a 3-year-old, and here he is winning the Blue Diamond. I just didn't think it was right to be trying to put a big colt like that, a big immature horse, into the slipper at his 5th run and expecting him to be at his best. And I think he's probably hit a personal best in the Blue Diamond, and we've given ourselves a month for him to come back off that and then peak again.
He's by Last Tycoon, the same sire as Mahogany. You're on record as saying, though, you think they're well, they go well kept a bit fresh. You almost did a Cox Plate that way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've got used to training them pretty well now. They're not all that hard to train, but most of them don't want to take a lot of work. I mean, even the 1.25 mile horses that buy Last Tycoon in Europe, horses like a Zoot and that can win 10 furlong races first up. So I don't see that as a problem with this horse.
You went to school in Sydney Lee before you were training racehorses. Did you ever come out to the slipper in those days?
I don't think I did. I think I was always busy on Saturday afternoons playing other sports, I suppose.
But looking at the slipper this afternoon, obviously your 2 horses are great chances. What are you seeing as your major dangers?
I think mine obviously will run great races. I really liked Encounter's run last week. I thought it was a solid effort. The horse obviously improved from his previous run, which you like to see. And at his previous meeting, I think there was only a neck between him and Guineas. Is that right, Ken?
Yep.
Yeah. So I would have to say, knowing Clary and knowing how I would train that horse, he would have made enough improvement to go ahead of Guineas now. And if you consider Guineas, you know, equal best chance, then this horse is right there.
Mate, the one you lost out of the camp in the last fortnight, and you would have loved him to be running here today in the Mercedes-Benz's Doremus, must have been sad for you.
Tremendously sad, because I mean this race was the race we always had picked out for him, this preparation. You know, it was a mile-and-a-half race at Rose Hill, weight for age. He never run over 2,400 at weight for age, and I was really looking forward to tagging along, but it wasn't to be.
Okay, Lee, well, we'll put you on the spot. What's your slipper trifecta? Is it Rosa Danehill at dead heating with knowledge with Encounter third?
That sounds good to me. In fact, I have taken it. I've had that trifecta for $10. So.
Now, what happened to the beer from last year?
The beer
still flowing.
Well, it's a tremendous thing, you know. I didn't want all that beer delivered at once because I didn't know where I could put it all. But I just pick up the phone and, you know, even 2 in the morning, and they run me up from Tui's and give me a couple of slabs. It's fantastic.
Well, on that note, on Tui's Golden Slipper Day, I think we'll take a break from Rose Hill Gardens and be back shortly with more racing.
Inspired made the home turn awkwardly and took his stablemate Street Cafe right off the track. His Royal Troubadour coming out of the ruck and finishing on gamely at the 200 mark, and one of the fillies, Vain Display, got to the lead over Rhubarb. Here comes Inspired. Inspired right out in the centre going with his Royal Troubadour. Inspired and Royal Troubadour go to the lead. Inspired is starting to draw away from Royal Troubadour. Love a Kiss and Pashenka's Gem late on the scene, but Inspired won the slipper. Inspired first, Love a Kiss second, Royal Troubadour third.
There have been some great races, haven't there, at the Golden Slipper, and this one looks like being one of the very best. In the meantime, for the totes on race 2, here is Kenny Callender.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ken Sutcliffe. And that Inspired was ridden by the then apprentice Darren Beedman. But race 2 on the card this afternoon is named after a great horse. It's the Tulloch Stakes, and appropriately, it's sponsored by Tulloch Wines. Let's look at the prices. Number 1, Babu's Boy, is at $7.50. Kiwi Hero is a scratching. Hero's Return, a Kiwi who finished second in the New Zealand Derby, is at $5. Emerald Cut from the Gay Waterhouse stable is out to $9. Turn Me Loose from the Bart Cummings stable is out to $4. Torbolino at $5, $13 lacks the music, $7 exactly for El Zabana, $67 for Gunshot, $17 for Seeing Stars, while Gwingana is the roughie of the race at 100 to 1. Here's Ken Sutcliffe.
Thank you very much, Ken. Well, plenty of action here at Rose Hill Gardens this afternoon. Still awaiting my mate, Maxie Walker, who got caught in all that traffic. But he'll be along, no doubt, because he's a real trooper. In the meantime, lots of good cricket taking place in South Africa. Australia have already wrapped up the Test series against that country. But it's the third Test. They're looking for a clean sweep. Checking out the first innings, here is Andrew McKinley. That's another one. The day ice is the first one I missed.
Well, Gardens, the Tulloch Stakes, and Simon O'Donnell and Wayne Harris have joined me. But I think first of all, I'll have a quick tote update, and then we'll talk about the event. Number 1, Babu's Boy, is showing at $7.50 on the tote. Hero's Return has come in now, the Kiwi. Plenty of money for him. He's into $3.90. Well, I've got a few dollars on him, mainly because I know the locals are no good, and if he ran second in the New Zealand Derby, he's got a good chance. Emerald Cut is out to $9.50. Number 5, Turn Me Loose, is at $4.90, out to $5 now. Torbolino at $4.80. Number 7, Laxa Music at $13. $7 still for El Zabana, getting out to $7.50. $67 for Gunshot. $16 for Seeing Stars. And Gwingana at 100 to 1. Okay, the horses are behind the barrier, and we've also got our man there, our clerk of the course for the day, and that's Harry Troy. Can you hear me, Harry?
Yeah, Ken, loud and clear.
How do they all look there, mate?
Pretty good, Ken, and the horse that takes my eye is TAB number 5, Turn Me Loose, the Kevin Moses mount. Just sweating up a touch before he was placed in the barriers, but I'm not going to let that put me off. He's my selection for the race. I like him ahead of number 6, Torbolino, the Brian York mount. He looks nice, tough, and ready to run a very good race. And I'm putting a rough in for third, number 7, Lacks the Music. They're my thoughts. Kenny, back to you.
Okay, we'll keep in touch with Harry all day. Wayne Harris, anything grab your eye?
Hero's Return, as you say, it's not a very strong race, and if he's any good, he might beat them. And Torbolino looked quite good in the paddock.
Simon O'Donnell, quickly.
I'll go for Turn Me Loose, Kent.
Okay, we're going to turn us all loose because here's John Tapp.
Just waiting for the starter. Now they're ready for dispatch in the Tulloch Wine Stakes. Race 2, starters on his stand, and they're off and